everyone, welcome to Kelly's Creative Dream Studios, and this is week 3 of our 12 weeks of Christmas 2022. I can't believe we're in week 3 already, and if week 3 is here already, these remaining 9 weeks are just going to fly, which means Christmas is only 10 weeks away, folks. Let's get going. So, last week, let's go back to where we started. The first week, which was last week for me, I introduced you to this 6x6 one-sheet wonder created by Miss Edith at Scrapbooking with Me, and I shared her video on what she did. She designed hers to be junk journal ephemera pieces. So that's what we're going to do today. But real quick, let's talk about what I did last week. I took the first week I cut everything up, I used them for Christmas cards. Now I have places to put sentiments yet, I just need to find the Christmas stamps. Hopefully when I get back from conference this week I can do that. So we have the Christmas cards done. I may have been a little bit out of frame, but you've seen them before, no biggie. And then I showed you the easy way to cut up your 6x6, starting with finding your most continuous line and cutting that one first. Then going to your next continuous line. And that will help you cut your pieces down. And then this one had us cut the 3x3 square into, on the diagonal to give us 2 corner tucks. Then we have this one, and then we have this one. Now she called this one a book plate, and this one was a snippet, a pocket, and a tag. So this is what we're going to play with, and I'm going to use the back of the 12 weeks of Christmas paper so I can stay in frame with you guys. Okay? Before I go there, let me talk about, I am going to turn these elements into an actual Christmas journal. My pages are going to consist of green copy paper, green ledger paper, and cream copy paper. Now, I may bring in some book pages or some Christmas book pages, haven't decided yet, but I know I'm using those for sure. So, we're going to start with our most continuous piece first, which is our pocket. And I'm going to start by cutting a thumb notch, just like that. Now, Miss Edith saved all of her little bitty pieces, so I'm going to lay that one aside. I also have pulled some items that I want to use. I will be using this bling from Dollar Tree. I will be using this lace from Dollar Tree. I will be using the burlap part of this lace, and I'm going to show you a trick with that in just a minute if you've not seen that. And then I have, these are some iridescent gems from Stampin' Up. I also have these gems from Stampin' Up. And some basic jewels, basic rhinestones. I have some red ones and more of those iridescent. So I can play with those in this. I also have these that I can turn these into any color. These are also from Stampin' Up, and they're currently in the catalog. I believe they're in the Christmas catalog until the end of December. I am over this. I promise I am. This is the first I have coughed all day today. Go figure. Okay, so I have these that I can use, and I can color these with my alcohol markers or paints and turn them any color I want them to be. So I have those for elements. I also have these little bells that I could put on. Sure I'm going the right direction with the lid. They do not jingle, they're just a flat-backed bell. See those? And I have lots of those, so I can implement some of those into the journal. Okay, now we're keeping all of our pieces. And then I found these in my Christmas stash, but I'm not so sure of how much of them I'm going to use. I do know I want to use the Yuletide stickers. I thought I had the ones from Tim Holtz, but I couldn't find those. I also have these silver and gold metallic doilies from Stampin' Up. I have these from Heidi's Swap. And then I have these, and I'll just try to stay away from the ones that have white in them. But I could use the numbers. I can use the flags. So we have those, and those are, they're planner stickers, that's all it says. I'm not sure where I got those. And then I have these. These are actually Post-its on these that I can use. So we have lots of little things to play with. Now I said I'd show you the trick with this lace. Remember I said I didn't want to use white per se because there's really no white in this paper. It's a very vanilla background. So let me make sure I get this in my trash so the cat doesn't get it. But here's a trick with this lace, and I'm just going to cut off a piece and show you. With this, it's a wire-edged ribbon, okay? But we're going to start with this. You can get in here, where's my little scissors, and clip the threads on the back, just like that. And you can take this lace off of here, and so you get use of lace and the burlap. Now, I'm not to say I won't dye this lace with color later. I could do that and still use this lace in this journal. But you just pull it down, snip your threads, and now you have just the burlap ribbon. Instead of buying the burlap ribbon separate, you can do this and you get 2 ribbons for the price of 1. Then, as I said, it's wire edge. So you just push that down till your wire pokes out. See that wire poking out right there? And pull it out just like that. And now we don't have any more wire edged ribbon. It's just a flat ribbon. So we'll be playing with that. We've got this one. Yeah, I know what I want to say. We have this one set up as a pocket. So let's give it a little bit of decoration, shall we? Let's start by giving it some ribbon. Now, I do try to put at least 2 things, usually 3 things, to embellish a, to spruce up an embellishment. So let's start on this. You know what? Let's start with this. This is green. We can cut this. Oh yeah, we can cut this. And I'm going to snip it just a little bit out of the way for right now. And that gives us that piece right there. But I want to turn it over so I've got the green. And I think I want to cut it in half. And this is just using a scrap of paper that was on my desk, on my work table. It was 3/4 of an inch, so we're just going to split it kind of down the middle and narrow it up a little bit. Now we have 2 pieces we can play with, and what this does is it will let us offset that ribbon a little bit. So we can put that there. That gives us 1. Then we can come back in with the lace and see we've got a little bit of contrast there. I like that, so I'm going to snip this off. I didn't bring my ribbon scissors over here with me. I have them packed to go with me to the conference. I'm recording this on Wednesday. So let's start by giving this a little color. And I'm going to come back in, I think, with this Mossy Meadow. And I thought I had a piece of scrap paper I could use. Maybe, well, yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. Let's use our paper. And I'm just going to come in here and just buff this up just a little bit. And this isn't the one I wanted. It's the one I picked up to get it out of my way. Oh, it's going to be one of those days. Okay. Let's come back with our pocket, or with our green, which is really what I wanted. And I've got Mossy Meadow ink. And I'm going to try and stay in frame. And I'm just going to dust this edge a little bit so it stands up away from our background paper. Not only does distressing your edges hide cutting mistakes or boo-boos, it also lets your paper stand up away from the background. So see the difference there, how it kind of pops up a little bit more? And then I'm going to run glue. Oh, that must be the new bottle that I picked up. because it squirted out right away. Now remember, you don't have to go clean to the edge with this, because it'll squish out and go to your edge for you, just like that, okay? And I'm going to come back here with my scissors and trim that off and get rid of that. Now normally I would use my fabric glue. And I have it here handy. Slowly starting to get this studio back the way it belongs. I like this crafter's glue from Hobby Lobby. And, well, it was from Hobby Lobby. Last time I went looking for it, I couldn't find it. I love it best for fabrics and ribbons. It really holds and grabs really well. And I just keep some of it out of the bottle in a little 1/4 pint jelly jar, so I can put the lid on it good and tight. And then I just brush it on when I need to. Just like that. And then we'll come back to our pocket, and I'm going to leave that glue handy because we're probably going to use it again. Now this dries really quick. You do not have to worry about waiting for this glue to dry. It dries relatively fast. I'm going to come back and clip our corners as best I can without my ribbon scissors. They work so. Let me use my fabric scissors, are right here handy. Let's use those. There we go. Now we've got rid of that. Now, we want to pop it up just a little bit. Let's see what we've got in our handy dandy toolbox down here to play with. I think actually, I want to come back in with some bling. See if I can get the bling open. Wasn't sure if I had any open or not. I do. Let's use the one that's open. I also have this bling in red, and I have it in Christmas greens. Let's try this with the red. So I'm going to come in here, and I like to do them in spots of 3, so I'm going to pull that just like that. Put those 2 pieces over here in my box. And then I'll come back and I get up real close to that and cut those little fibers off where they were all snuggled up against one another. Just like that. And let's run it right there. So I'm just going to run a little, whoa, just a little strip. Run just a little strip there. And I'm just going to slide that through the glue and let it catch where it wants to catch. Okay? So there's our pocket. Now I could come back, which is what I did on that other piece. I could come back with my dauber and my ink. Now I've got work to do this week. I have the patterns picked out that I want us to use. I just don't have anything measured or cut. So, okay, let's do our tag. And we're going to start our tag by snipping a corner. And if you don't have a tag punch or anything, cut off one corner, flip it over, and hold it over in the other corner. And you should get one basically the same size. Now mine isn't always the same size. And that again is some more pieces that we'll hang on to. And then I'm going to come back in and I want to distress this one too. As I record this on Wednesday evening, Bob is on his way home. He took a week off of work so that my sister and I could go to this conference together. We have a friend coming up from Texas that is our entertainment at the conference on Friday night. And he knows that it's getting closer and closer to where I may be the only one going. So he wanted to make sure we got to go to the conference this year. So he took the day off, took the week off. Started on the road early this morning after only 2 hours sleep, was doing pretty good. And apparently he picked up some food poisoning. And now he's not going to make it home before I leave. Okay, let's... See, that would be a little wide for that. But here's what we're going to do. Let's take our scissors and let's cut that down, not necessarily through the middle, but I am going to cut this edge off where that wire ran through, because it was serge sewed over the wire. And let's put this down here. And again, I'm going to come back with my crafter's glue, and I'm just going to paint a swatch right across there to grab that. And I'll tell you, it doesn't take much of this either. It holds really good. Just want to make sure you get to your edges. And then I'm coming back with the burlap, just like that. And yeah, I could have squeezed that over, couldn't I? Let's do that. Okay, and then we're going to clip that piece off. But then we're going to take this piece and we're going to come back up, and I didn't bring my staple with me. Didn't bring my stapler. Hold that thought. I tell you, this being packed and then trying to do a video, but I knew Bob was on the way home, so I didn't want to be using the phone to do a recording until after he had called. So I'm coming back in here, and I'm just gonna, in fact, let's give this a little tooth first to hold in place. Let's use my Stampin' Seal for heavy stuff, and I'm just gonna run a bead right there as soon as I get it started. And this is why I don't buy Stampin' Seal, because it does not, there we go. You just can't stand it up too much. Some people get this right away, and it fights me every time. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm just not going to use it. Just not going to use it. Let's use our craft glue. I don't want this to hold permanently. I just want it to be able to hold it in place while I staple. And the back is the one that's going to move on me. So I'm going to come back in here, staple that ribbon in place. Now, I do not like this on the back. In fact, I got that a little close to the edge. Let me do that again. I do not like that close to the edge. So let's come down a little bit. I'm using my bigger stapler instead of my tiny one. That's probably not helping me any. There we go. There. Now, I'm not a fan of having the teeth on the back, so here's what we're going to do. To hide that, we're going to come back in with one of those stickers. And I'm thinking these probably came out of either a planner or from Dollar Tree. And we're going to come back with this Merry Christmas and go right over top of that, and it'll cover the pokies and be a nice embellishment to the tag. And then we have that. And what does that need? What do you think? That needs something. Does it need the gold bling? I don't think the gold will stand out. What about if we use the green bling? I had it. Where did it go? There it is. Or, I do have another alternative. Here's the green. The green would look nice, but I also have some other things over here. I have some flowers. Santa'd be too big. I have these stickers. Those are kind of big, but I like the skates. I had these piled off to the side too. These are from Hobby Lobby. And I believe all their Christmas crafting is 50% off now, probably pretty much till the end of the holidays. So I'm going to come in here and use my little picky tool from Stampin' Up. And let's try the black and red skates on there. What do you think? Do we like that? I think I like that. I think I like that. There's that one. So there's a tag for our journal. And we can always come back and add something to this. So there's number 2. I lost the pocket. There it is. I lost the pocket. Now here's something else. If you've only got one tree or you want to go through, you can add those little bitty blings and add some sparkle to that tag. Let's try a couple here and see what happens. Actually, let's save that for now. I got a better idea. Let's do this that she called the snippet. And this is something she just did a little bitty too. And I have this vintage lace, and it's going to be too big for that. Probably should have used that on the pocket, huh? I'm going to pop it over here. So let's come back with our vintage lace. And it's just going to take a little bit, just a smidge. And I'm going to make sure I cut it wide enough. And we had already distressed this one, so it's all ready to go. So I'm going to come back in with this. I don't want to hide the presents, so I'm just going to go around here at the very, very bottom so our presents don't disappear. Do just like that. Once you grab some basic materials, it's not a lot to go through and just add pretties. So let's add some bling here. I had a yellow one, I think, and that's Stampin' Up. Yep. Let's put a simulation of a star on top of this one. Let's use one of these medium-sized yellow ones to be a star on top of that tree. And then we'll come back in with more of these little bitty ones. And we'll do 3 or so on the tree. Just to add a little oomph. Okay, so there's our tree. There's our snippet. This could be added to anything else or used by itself. So we have that. Now we have our corner tucks. And I'm going to come back in and distress them. Now this one is going to be an upper tuck just because the trees are going that direction. So it will go in the top corner. And let's add our lace again to the edge of that. I think this lace is going to become a staple with these embellishments in this journal. I love lace of any kind. And with these cream colors on this, it really adds to the vintage appeal. So let's do that and run that right along there. Come back and trim this snippet off. Just like that. And then I have these from K & Company. And I don't know if I've got any small ones in here or not. I know there are 55 pieces to this box. And now they're all over the table. I think they're going to be too big. I think. To and from we don't necessarily need. And that takes away. That doesn't work. That could work. That could work. Or this one. This one would be a good one to use where the skates are at. Another thing to think about is if you don't want the bulk of the chipboard, you can come in here and you can peel a couple of layers off and take it down a notch so it's not quite as thick. You've seen me build up chipboard. Well, this is how we would take it down. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to cut the red off. No, let's not. Let's pretend we didn't do that. And let's get our red ribbon here and get us a piece. Or should I have used gold or red or green? I think I like the red. I have other ribbons over here in the box. but I don't really have any Christmassy stuff handy. So let's just do that. Let's do that. So it looks like that hole is supposed to be there. Okay. And then we're going to come back here and get the fuzzies off our glue bottle. I have just not been ready to go anywhere. I've been enjoying just being home. And I could gladly not leave this house tomorrow. Okay, so there's one of our corner tucks. This one will go in the top of our pocket, top of our page. This one will go on the bottom of our page. So let's get our dauber and get this one distressed. And yeah, I'm distressing the edge, even though I'm probably going to hide that edge with the ribbon. That's all right. I think my ink pad's worn out because I'm not getting much ink. There we go. Wasn't getting much ink on my edge. Okay, so there's the bottom tuck. And we'll come back in with our lace again. And I like to over measure just to make sure I've got enough. I mean, I paid $1 for this spool of yarn. It's not, excuse me, it's not going to break me to use it all. So then I'm going to come through, dust my edge again. And this would be cool if they're almost alike, so that if you put one on your left-hand page in the top corner, this on your right-hand page in the bottom corner, they pair together really well. So let's lay that one on there. Make sure we're actually on the paper. There we go. Almost didn't get on the paper. I'm going to try and get the truck packed tonight before it gets dark. So all I have to do is get up in the morning and get dressed and leave. I have to stop and pick up a friend in Cassville. Okay, what shall we do with this one? I'm thinking I'm going to trim off my spider legs here on my bling. Just like this. Now, the other thing is, let's hang on to these. Because if we're talking about balance in page here, we're talking about the balance in the page, let's make sure we put something semi-heavy on this one. Piece would be good. I don't think we want naughty. That's too little. Now that I find little things, let's get the big ones back in the box. Because I know we're not going to use those on here, but they very well could get used on the cover. Or if we have a larger item. Now, even though there's something on here, we could turn this over and we could use the back of this. Little big for this spot, but it's usable. Believe would go in there nicely. Hang on to that one. I kind of like that one. Noel would work. Some more small stuff. I really like that piece too. But there's that Noel. See, and we've got the balance of the ovals. That's kind of cool. Let's go with that one. Let's go with that one. And I'll show you, we're still going to use the bling. Now see, this one doesn't have ribbon, and that's okay. Where's my glue? There it is. I'm going to swirl some glue on the back of here. And I'm going to position this right here. Do I have to see the tree? No, not a problem. Now, let's come back and do we're just after balance here, so let's add a little bit of glue right here and lay these 3 green, and this will help mimic the green in the tree behind us. And it will take a while for that one to dry. Okay, so there's our 2 corner tucks. The only thing we have left is what she called the book plate. And I'm going to turn this one into another small pocket to use on a future tag. So I'm going to punch my thumb. I'm going to come back in and I'm going to distress. just like this. And you know, I bought these from these K & Company embellishments from Maddie at Spectrum Art Creations. So I could enter this in the monthly drawing for a gift certificate for having used Spectrum Art products. Okay, I don't like the star on there, or snowflake or cookie or whatever he is. Everything else in those blings are a little too big, but I do want to keep with that. Lace session on this one, so let's cut this one off. And we're going to be done with the bling on this one. So let's get the bling out of the way. Those little pieces have a home. Whoops. Those little pieces have a home. I'll try finding my... Okay, now we have that. What should we do with this? Let's start by putting the lace on there. See, and this makes these pieces in here cohesive. Now, will I add lace on all the pieces throughout the 12 weeks? Probably not. But I will see that they get used in some fashion somewhere, because using the same type of embellishments or items on your embellishments helps bring everything together. Okay, now where's my lid for my ink? There it is. We're using Mossy Meadow, so I'm going to stick this in my dauber, in my case, so I don't lose that. We don't need the red ribbon. What shall we do here? Any ideas? Any ideas? I'm listening for you. I'm listening for you. I know that I am going to finally use some of my Tim Holtz cards this year. I think I've got some tinier ones. See, this would be cool to slip in the pocket. Says tree. That one would be cute. Okay, so I'm going to leave that one with that. And hopefully I'll remember that I want to use that one when I go to put everything together. But this pocket needs something first. I don't think it needs bling. Those stickers are a little big. Maybe a word. I don't think I want to use the white, because the white will just disappear on there. Could use a stocking hat. But let's see what we have in Heidi Swap's cat stickers here. She's got them in white and she has them in black. We know we're not going to use the white. But let's try... Oh, let's try... I wore my favorite. Okay, let's lay that right over top of that. And I wore my favorite hat. There we go. And that brings us to all of our embellishments. Now, I have these little snippet pieces. I'm not throwing them away because they may come in handy. So I'll put them down here in their little spot. I'm going to have to go wash out my brush when we're done. And you know, we could add something to that as well. Let me back up here really quick. And let's get into our bling bag here. That little pom-pom needs a little bling. So let's come back here and get a little bling and put right in the center. There we go. Everything's better with bling, right? Okay, so now we have all of our pieces. We have, oops, there's two of those there. We have our, what'd she call it? Our book plate. We have our corner tucks. We have our snippet. It'll turn loose of me. And then we have our tag. And we have our larger pocket. What am I missing? Book page, tag. There we go. Just after I put the bling on there, they're a little weighed out. So there is our first set of embellishments for our 12 Weeks of Christmas 2022 Christmas Journal. I will be back here next week. I have a haul video of like 5 boxes of Spectrum Art Creation stuff over here. I've got to go through, show them off so I can unpack everything and put them away. Next Sunday, we'll be doing a new One Sheet Wonder with a new paper and making cards from those cut-aparts. So, that's where I'm at for now. In the meantime, remember, like, share, subscribe, and creative Christmas blessings.